What if happiness isn't something you can pursue directly? This video explores what Western psychology has discovered about well-being, why the state of flow matters, and why modern science increasingly agrees that lasting happiness is a byproduct rather than a destination. Physics, Consciousness and Reality, Dickie Dredd and Nigel Adams. This is part 42 in the video series, Chapter 5, Ethics, Free Will and Human Life. And we're on part 39, The Pursuit of Happiness in the West. So in the Western culture, happiness has long been framed as a goal, something to be sought, achieved and ideally secured. From Aristotle's notion of eudaimonia as the highest human goal through Enlightenment ideals of life, liberty and the pursuit of happiness, the idea has become both a philosophical theme and a political promise. Yet what happiness means and how to reach it has shifted across eras. In modern times, the science of psychology has taken up the question. Positive psychology, pioneered by Martin Seligman and colleagues in the 20th century, set out to redress psychology's focus on illness and dysfunction. Rather than asking what makes life go wrong, it asked what makes life worth living. Research pointed to gratitude, optimism, resilience, social connection and engagement as pillars of well-being. The focus moved from pathology to flourishing. One of the most influential ideas in this field is the concept of flow, developed by, and this is a very difficult name I know to pronounce and I should have looked it up, developed by Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. Flow refers to a state of deep absorption in an activity where challenge and skill are finely balanced. In flow, time seems to melt away, self-consciousness recedes and attention is fully engaged. Artists, athletes and musicians often describe this state, but it can occur in everyday tasks when the conditions are aligned. Sure, everyone's experienced this. Flow is not mere pleasure, it is meaningful absorption, and research shows it contributes strongly to long-term satisfaction. Yet the Western pursuit of happiness is not without tension. Consumer culture often equates happiness with acquisition, more possessions, status or stimulation, yet studies show these deliver only short-term boosts. Lasting happiness seems tied to material gain, less to material gain than to purpose, relationships and a sense of being part of something bigger. The paradox is that happiness pursued directly often slips away, whereas it emerges as a byproduct of engagement, service or creativity. Placed in the context of this book, happiness research echoes the themes of illusion and framing. Just as perception is an interface shaped by evolution, our sense of well-being is shaped by expectations, culture and narrative. Flow illustrates how consciousness itself can shift from restless striving to focused immersion, altering the very texture of experience. Positive psychology, for all its optimism, also shows the limits of scientific control. Happiness cannot be engineered like a machine, but emerges from the dynamic interplay of mind, body and context. Happiness, then, is not a final destination, but a moving balance, a system in motion rather than a permanent state. In this sense, Western psychology begins to rhyme with Eastern perspectives, which treat happiness not as the conquest of suffering, but as alignment with impermanence, balance and awareness, and we'll come on to all that later. Pursuit itself may be the problem, letting go may be closer to the solution. So perhaps happiness isn't something we capture at all. It may simply emerge when our attention, actions and expectations come into balance. If that's true, then changing the way we experience life may matter far more than changing our circumstances. In the next video, we'll examine what happens when scientific language itself is misunderstood, why words like energy, frequency and quantum are so often taken completely out of context. It winds me up a treat. So we're still on Chapter 5, Ethics, Free Will and Human Life. I think it's the last part, actually, might be the last but one. When science is misused, energies, frequencies and quantum nonsense.